Hey there, client, and welcome to another Inquisition party member / advisor analysis video. I was about to say speculation. This isn't speculating, this is pure analysis. In today's installment, we're going to be talking about a character who has been in Dragon Age since the beginning, and has been the fantasy of many fans of the series. Was confused for a while why, but eventually figured it out due to the fact that 3 of the people I know are obsessed with him to an extent. They know who they are. They're the other Dragon Age people on YouTube. You know who they are. I didn't even need to say their names. The members of the Inquisition, of course. But now it's my turn to talk about him and give my opinion on him. Today, we're talking Cullen. This should be an interesting discussion. Before we go to the intro, please wait till I'm finished the video before you come and kill me, okay? Cheers. Well, I can't really talk about Cullen unless I talk about my impression of him from Origins to Inquisition. Now, I'm going to be honest, I didn't really have any thoughts on Cullen. I didn't encounter him like a lot of people who played the Mage Origin. I encountered him in the circle after it all went to hell, basically. So my first impressions of Cullen was a guy who's been tortured for probably days, if not weeks, has watched all of his friends die in front of him, and believes that every mage should be killed within the tower. Which I kind of see why he thinks that. So I saw him as a bit of a sympathetic character, a sort of like a sign of how far someone can be broken after an extended period of time of torture, both mental and physical. So I definitely felt a little bit of sympathy towards him to why he hated magic so much at that point, why he hated mages. And it wasn't a hatred that was unjust, in all honesty. He had seen the worst of what mages could do in Thedas, instead of seeing the best of what they can do. In all honesty, the whole magic debate really just isn't about magic, it's about people, because that's what everything is about. Magic is merely another tool for people to use and abuse. So I definitely sympathised with Cullen a little bit, but I didn't give the guy a second thought, in all honesty. I was just like, oh, he's sympathetic. And then in Dragon Age 2, when he returned, I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. They had a familiar person come in from the previous game, so you could feel a little bit of a connection to him, get to know him a little bit more. And I liked seeing his advancement in Dragon Age 2, where he actually became more of a mage sympathizer in a way. He still believed the mages needed to be governed, but he believed that they shouldn't be done to the extreme. And it's definitely a sight to see that he comes to a place like Kirkwall, which mages are oppressed beyond belief, tranquil like left, right, and centre due to Meredith's craziness. And he got to see the worst of Templars. He's one of the few people in the world who's actually seen the worst of mages, but also the worst of Templars. He sees that either side has bad people. It has people who are willing to go to the extreme. So Cullen doesn't hate mages, he doesn't hate Templars. He hates extremists and people who abuse power. That's at least my first impressions of him in Dragon Age 2. And I actually grew to kind of like the guy, and I was like, this is kind of a good sign to see someone who went through hell basically with mages, but then starts to sympathise with them and understands that it isn't magic that's evil, it's evil people using magic that's evil. And I definitely like that about him. And he also got to see that Templars can just be as evil and as vindictive. He saw Templars who abused their power, who made mages tranquil without a second thought. And I'm more than certain he saw that some Templars maybe even took advantage of various mages, and I have no doubt that that happens from time to time. As I say, if a Templar comes to you and threatens to tranquil you, put you through tranquility unless you do a little service for him, I have no doubt that that is a case for both the male and female mages in the Kirkwall circle, and even more, I have no doubt. I definitely liked seeing that about Cullen, and I was actually very pleased to see this natural progression of Cullen as the war advisor, the combat advisor of the Inquisition, And in my opinion, I actually couldn't. I could only think of one other person who might have been better for the role, and that's Aveline. But then again, that's merely my opinion. I was actually really hoping that we got to see Aveline in Inquisition, maybe as part of the Inquisition as a general or something, because I think she actually suits that kind of role, in my opinion. But she's in Kirkwall, still kicking ass and all that, so I definitely think Aveline would have been a better. That was my initial thought, that Aveline would have been a better choice, in my opinion, because I actually really liked Aveline. But instead, we got Cullen. I was like, okay. Kind of don't see the reasoning why it, but then once I started interacting with him in Inquisition, I got to see why he was chosen, because he's chosen for that exact reason I mentioned. He has seen both the good and the bad of both sides of the war, basically. He's seen the worst of mages and he's seen the worst of Templars. Someone who can remain sort of neutral in that case, but who's also a Templar himself. And I definitely like the fact that he was there. And once you're talking to him, you see that he doesn't want to oppress mages. He does believe the Templars should exist, but he believes that they should be a bit more caring in that, and they shouldn't be allowed to abuse their powers such as they are. So I definitely got to see a little bit more of the real Cullen after a while, and we got to see him laugh and giggle, and my impressions of him changed. I'll definitely agree with that. I got to see that I cannot see anyone else as the war or combat specialist, combat advisor to the Inquisitor. I cannot see anyone else in that role in Austin. He did such an excellent job, and the voice actor did a great job as well. Ellis Gray, I'm horrible with names, I do apologise, but he did a great job emphasising that about the character. I give him major props with that. So that's overall my first impressions of Cullen from Origins to Inquisition. I will always stand by this, that in Dragon Age Inquisition, Cullen is the Templar that we wish all Templars would be. He does believe that the Templars should exist, but he understands that sometimes they go too far. And even he mentions a few cases where he did see it go too far, and I definitely like that. That he's kind of like, look, I understand that my mages wanted their freedom. Hell, I was pro-mage for a while, in all honesty, but then eventually I said I'm pro-human. So I definitely see Cullen's point of view as he's like, look, we need Templars because there are dangerous mages out there. There are also mages come under threat of possession, and Cullen wants to be like, we as Templars should be protecting them from the demons and showing them and not forcing them, not enforcing, not putting a leash around their neck, not forcing tranquility on them, but merely stating that we're here to protect you. If you are having trouble, we are here to help you. We will fight the demons away from you. We will protect you from the demons if we can. And that's what kind of Cullen encompasses in my mind. It's all like the perfect Templar, in my opinion. And he definitely views that point very, very, very severely, and he definitely protrudes it and states it. And I definitely think it's due to his experience with both the worst and best of both sides. And I definitely like that about him. And it says he's a perfect Templar, in my opinion, just because of the fact that he understands what a Templar should be: someone who protects mages and not guards them or controls them. And I definitely feel he still thinks the Right of Tranquility should be a thing. Very much in the line, I think it should still be a thing, but only for the most extreme and dangerous mages who are out there. And there are a few out there who, in all honesty, the Right of Tranquility is a fate worse than death. But in my opinion, it is probably is better than them having been dead and all that. I definitely think the Right of Tranquility should be a thing, even if it is so disgustingly terrifying. I see that it should still be a thing. I definitely Cullen sees that as well, but it should only be for the worst of the worst. And you know the worst of the worst I'm talking about. And I'm pretty sure most of you can guess them as well. One other thing that I really liked that they touched upon with Cullen was the fact that he was the lyrium addiction. That is something that is a problem for all Templars. Like, they're addicted to lyrium. It's basically a drug to them. Without it, they go mad or lose who they are. And it was just and the thing is, they don't actually need lyrium to perform the skills that they use to suppress magic. Hell, the Seekers don't need lyrium, and they have the abilities of a Templar. Cassandra even states that we find out how that is, but still very dangerous in my opinion. But I think he knows that it can be done, and lyrium is the one leash that the Chantry had over the Templars, even though they eventually did find other ways to get their lyrium, be it red or blue. But I definitely feel as though Cullen was trying to show his other Templars with his lithium addiction, like, look, we can break this. And you could see that it's eating away at him. It's like he's literally going cold turkey when it comes to his lithium addiction. And you can see that he's fighting with it. And I fully commend him and all that. You can choose to say, take your fucking lithium, or don't take your lithium. And I very much encourage him, look, you're going through the rough patch right now. You've got the shakes, you're quivering. You can do the job. I don't want anyone else as my war advisor. Sort yourself out and don't give in to the demons, so to speak. And I definitely like that they touched upon that in Dragon Age Inquisition, because that's something I've always felt so bad about the Templars, is the fact that they really don't have a choice, but didn't have a choice but to serve the Chantry in a way. And I definitely like that the Cullen was showing them that we don't need lithium to be who we are. Hell, Alistair was a Templar and he didn't use lithium and he could teach others to it. So Cullen was trying to show to his other Templars that if I can kick it, yous can kick it. We don't need lithium. We can kick it. We can still be useful to the Inquisition without lithium. And I like that. It does show that if you give up the lithium soon, you can still be a good person if it's not too late, and you can still be a great Templar. So I definitely like that they touched upon that with Cullen, especially with everything that he went through. And it's nice to see that it did eventually have repercussions within the game, hopefully, that eventually all the Templars would be like, we don't need lithium. Lithium might give them a little bit of a power boost, but it's not worth the risk in my opinion. So I definitely give them every credit with that. And Cullen's voice actor also, Greg, last name's Gregorus or something. I'm horrible with names, I do apologise. Emphasising that person who's going through this withdrawal and like, I need my stash. And you could see he goes through all the processes, which I really did like. So I give him full credit to that at least. I also really liked how we got to know Cullen a lot more. We got to talk about his family, playing the board game, that kind of stuff. I like the fact that we got to know Cullen a lot better in this. He definitely felt a bit more human in that instance, as we got to see the way he thought, the way he acted, how he became the man he is, especially with his family that he still deeply cares about. And I definitely like that about him. It was very nice to feel that human connection with him. And he definitely became eventually one of my good friends in the Inquisition, and I definitely like that. And I can definitely see why people would want to romance him. And I guess I may as well talk about the romance here now. And that is the romance in Inquisition. I'll happily admit it was very well written. It felt natural, but at the same time it still felt a little bit like throwing a bone at the fans. But at the same time, I still like it. I like the romance and how it builds up, how he's kind of shy at the beginning, and then it slowly, eventually evolves into a proper full-fledged romance. Eventually him giving in to his feelings and literally taking the Inquisitor on a table. I mean, tables with him and hay with Blackwall. And the rest of the romances do it in a bed. I think that says something about the men in Inquisition. But yeah, I definitely liked his romance, and it evolved, and it felt natural. It felt really, really human and very well developed. And I can definitely see why the appeal to Cullen. I personally will never romance him with any of my female Inquisitors, just because most of the male romances, the female romances in Inquisition don't really appeal to me. The only ones that really appeal to me are Josephine and Sarah. The rest of them don't really appeal to me. And male Inquisitor, of course, is Cassandra, hands down, if no if, buts, what's about it. I like that. I like to see where it was going. I liked his romance. It isn't my favourite romance, in all honesty. It's still a debate what one's my favourite romance, but I definitely liked it. No qualms with the romance whatsoever. Well developed, well written, well voice acted. That's all I got to say on that. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say on Cullen. My final thoughts on him is I liked him. He was one of the better advisors in my opinion. I love all the advisors. All of them, they're all about equal in my opinion actually. But I really liked Cullen, but I think I felt more of a connection to him since I met him in Origins and 2. We got to see his character develop instead of just having a character we'd meet, which is why I think I feel more connection to him, Cassandra a little bit, Liliana, and any other characters who were from Origins or 2, like Varric as well. I definitely felt more of a connection with them than I did the new characters, but at the same time I still enjoyed them as well. But Cullen, as I say, it was nice having a non-party member for once who was from in the previous games, and we met him in the previous games, and then we saw how he's developed in that. And I definitely agree with Cassandra's that he was the only choice to be the war advisor. So I definitely give major props to him. It was very nice for BioWare to bring him back, and he didn't just feel like they were throwing a bone at him for the squeeing fans out there. Cullen was not there just for no reason. He was there because the writers thought he should be there. He should be there. Like, from a character who should have only been in one game to being a crucial member of the third game, I give very props to the characters. It just, to the writers, it definitely shows that, as it says, it happens. It moves on. It carries on. That a small character you only see once in the entire game becomes such a fan favorite, and I definitely see why. So I give Cullen all the dues. Very good character, very well written, voice acted superbly, and he has surprisingly a good singing voice. I'll give him that. I like him. I enjoyed him. That's all I've got to say on that. So definitely major props to Cullen. And yeah, I think that's about everything I've got to say on Cullen. So we're down to the last two, Liliana and Cole. So I'll do my best to model these up. This is going to be really bloody hard to actually model these up since there are only two. I will not look at them, of course, because that would be cheating. I've actually already lost track of which one is which already, so I guess shuffling was a good idea. Okay. You see them, I don't. I'm not looking, I just, give me a minute. I actually saw the reflections, so... Okay, I'm actually trying to hold these up above my eyes so I don't see them, so... Who do you want me to do? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, set the baby on its paw. When it's done, wipe its bum. Eat dee da ba. Who are we going to be doing? Well... my wish came true. I actually wanted to do Liliana last. We're going to be talking compassionate here, people. We're talking Cole next. This should be an interesting one. I'll see you all next time. Ciao for now.